afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, June 1st, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce. You know, you can check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. And without further ado, let's get into the news. There is talk, there is belief, ladies and gentlemen, that not only Enzo, but also Big Cass will be heading back to the WWE. We discussed this a little bit last week, but Enzo is turning down independent work. And that usually is a sign of things when someone turns down independent work, that they are pretty much going somewhere. AEW has announced a new pay-per-view. AEW Redemption will be going down Sunday, July 26th. It's taking place in Montreal, Quebec. It is taking place at the arena for some reason. But this is the Centre Bell Arena in Montreal. This is a brand new AEW pay-per-view. This will be taking place after Forbidden Door, but before All In. So that makes 10 events for the year. Suits AEW well. I like it. 10 events instead of 12. Keep it paced out. Still have the TV specials. It should be good. Bryan Danielson has been quietly removed from the active roster of AEW talent, as he is officially now a broadcaster. We all believe that he's retired, not fully retired, because I feel like he's got maybe another match or two in him. But right now, he is fully committed to being a commentator for AEW. Vince McMahon and WWE executives have been hit with court sanctions ahead of their TKO merger trial. A lot of news has come out that the reason signal to circumvent communication, keeping Vince on the board, a whole bunch of things. It's not good. This could be big for them. Ludwig Kaiser was arrested on a battery case. He will be getting a potential trial. He was released on $1,000 bond with a plea of not guilty. Also, Curtis Axel was also arrested. He faces up to 364 days in jail after a DUI arrest. Natalia's memoir about her life is garnering some looks from Hollywood, as they're looking to turn that into a story, maybe even a TV show. We shall see what they do with her. Natalya has a very interesting life, being the last trainee of the Heart Dungeon. WWE fans have blasted WWE for using Julia to promote Clash in Italy, but also leaving her off of the card. It doesn't make no sense. Julia is half Italian, speaks fluent Italian, grew up in Italy, and they decided just not to put her on the card. There's some shocking news. New Japan Pro Wrestling has sold the majority of their shares to the TV station Ashai, who now owns Cyber Agent. They now own New Japan, I believe All Japan, and Tokyo Joshi Pro. This is a big deal. Bushiroad. It looks like they're fully committed to Stardom. AEW has revealed plans for the TBS Championship. There will be 6 qualifying matches leading to a survival of the fittest match. Will be going down on the July 1st episode of Dynamite. We will be crowning a new TBS champion. All right. This should main event the show. I wish it would take place at Forbidden Door, but we can highlight the entire match for the show. AEW Gaming has been put on hold for now. The podcast has been put on hold. This is from Evil Uno himself. The speculation is they're waiting to sign the New Day and up the ante. So now you have Adam Cole, Evil Uno, and the New Day all working on AEW games. Really, really good. WWE has announced the King and Queen of the Ring brackets. Each tournament will have a fatal 4-ways leading to one-on-one matches, which will lead to the final. So for the men, let me take a look at that real quick. For the men, it will be Penta, Oba, Solo, Mello, Dom, Braun Breaker, Trick, and Damian Priest. And on the other side, Seth, Javon, Tonga, Loa, and looks like Tyler Tonga and Ricky Saints. And on the other side, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor. For the women, it will be Roxanne, Io, Julia, and Lash. Bailey, Raquel, JC, and Kiana. Jade, Charlotte, Lyra, and Soul. And Chelsea, Alexa, Becky, and Liv Morgan, who explains that, well, she's been overlooked, so she herself will be in the tournament. I just think the WWE has done a bad job at booking her on the injury side of things. Logan Paul will be out of action for a couple months with his elbow injury. Nikki Bella's recovering from her ankle injury, and she's able to do squats for the first time. Nothing too heavy, but we'll see how she returns. And Jake Doyle returned on Dynamite, backing up his Don Callis family members. He was out with an injury as well. But that is the news. So she'll be right back with the weekend review. All right, you know how we do the weekend review. We start off with Monday Night Raw. This is the Clash in Italy Go Home show. This show gets a fist. We open up with Heyman, Oba, and Brock doing the thing. So Heyman obviously hypes the match. We get the video package. Leicester City returned because he refuses to let that loss define him. Oba confronted Heyman, signed the Clash contract, and said he wasn't fighting to beat Brock this time. He was fighting to end him. Roman arrived and briefly interacted with the staff. He knocked the gift box out of that man's hand before walking off. Whatever. Penta put the IC title on the line against Javon Evans in a solid match. It looked like Javon got hurt here, but he rallied with a springboard cutter and a top of Hurricanrana. Penta countered the OG cut into a backstabber and Mexican Destroyer, getting the W, retaining the championship. Penta raised Javon's arm after the match in respect. Javon yanked it away because he was clearly frustrated. Theory tried handing Paul Heyman the tag team title belt, unsure what to do now that Logan Paul is hurt. But Heyman said the contract listed division as champions and not individuals. So he said Theory will be defending with Braun Breaker. So we got a little free bird action involved, ladies and gentlemen. Then Joe Hendry was singing about firing Logan Paul until Theory came out, attacked him with a chair, and put that man down, observing his work. Seth was with the Street Profits, and Seth told Douglas that he stayed out of his business like he promised, and Seth said they need to work together to end the division, whereas Forrest said nothing good happens when Seth is around. Seth said they'd be tag team champions if he was around at Saturday night's main event, so Ford challenged him to a match, and Seth accepted. Javon apologized with Penta for his reaction. Penta told him he'd see him again soon. Ray congratulated Penta and said he wants next. Then we had Raquel and Roxanne taking on Bailey and Lyra. Raquel and Roxanne attacked early. Liv interfered, but she ended up getting ejected. Dom distracted the ref as Raquel shoved Bailey off the top rope. Roxanne hit the pot rocks, but Bailey kicked out. Bailey then pinned Roxanne after there was little drama with the belts. Lyra limped out but celebrated with Bailey, and Dom checked on Liv backstage. Raquel was not happy as she glared at Dom. Roman told Adam Pearce that he accepted tribal combat because he had no choice. That's just how it plays out in the family. He said if Fatu loses, then he must serve him. Reigns said if he loses, then the family is screwed. LA Knight entered and declared for the King of the Ring. He called Roman the most corrupt champion he ever seen. Jimmy interrupted and said things weren't like the old Bloodline days, and LA Knight said Jimmy was becoming Roman's errand boy once again. Jimmy warned Knight to tread lightly, and Knight responded by saying that if he becomes their business, then he'll put them out of business. Ethan Page complained about Rey Mysterio getting an IC title shot. Rusev confronted Rey about jumping the line. Rey agreed to face Rusev to earn that spot. And that was the main event match. Seth took on Montez Ford in a really fun match. Seth avoided the 450, ultimately winning with the curb stomp. This is going to stoke the flames of people wanting Montez Ford to get a singles push. Theory attacked Dawson with the chair after the match. Pierce ordered Theory to leave the building, and Heyman escorted him out. Seth demanded a match with Braun, and Pierce said he'd work on it. Becky cut a promo on Soul, said Soul was stepping up into the big time, and said greatness wasn't something you chase, it's something you stand opposite of. In the main event match, Rey Mysterio took on Rusev. This was the number contendership for the Intercontinental Championship in a fun, solid affair, but of course, Rey won because Rusev always loses. Rusev attacked Rey after the match. Dragon Lee made the save. Where the hell has he been? And cleared the ring. that's how we ended that match. Pierce told Theory that he was done for the night. I mean, the show was almost over at this point, and Heyman pretended to reprimand Theory while smirking. Otis said it smelled like bad news. Made the segment with the contract signed between Roman and Jacob. Jacob signed the tribal combat contract first, and dared security to stop him. Roman entered. Said Fatu could have ordered just by acknowledging him. Fatu said Romans took the family far, but it was time for a new leadership. They shook hands, went forehead to forehead, and that was it. Over on Dynamite, this was the Double or Nothing Fallout show. We started off with opening with Ospreay and Kenny wanted to know why would Ospreay line themselves with the Death Riders, and Ospreay said, I'm trying to be better, we're both trying to be better, but they're here, you're not. This happened at a Double or Nothing. In the ring, Kevin Knight said he attacked Darby because Darby let everyone down. He told Darby not to let us down. He said he beat MJF last and deserved the title shot, and he wasn't a bench player and he should be a main event player. Speedball, his tactic partner, came out and demanded an apology. Knight ignored him. They shook hands and then he laid Bailey out. And Knight said he wasn't wasting anyone's time anymore. Our first match of the evening was Chris Jericho and Ricochet. This was the ending to their feud. Ricochet attacked early with kicks and dives, and Jericho had to dive himself. Ricochet landed a Phoenix splash, but Jericho applied the watch of Jericho's twice. Ricochet escaped. Ricochet hit a low blow behind the ref's back and missed the 630. Jericho finished with the Code Breaker, Juice Effect, and then the Lion Assault to get the win. After the match, Jericho was celebrating, and Ciampa attacked Chris Jericho, hitting a running knee and left him laid out. Andrade was backstage, said he wanted the world titles. He's better than MJF, and he would prove it soon. All right, Andrade. And we had a nice little superstar showcase match. Orange Cassidy, Leo Rush, Brian Cage, and Roosh. Fun match. Everyone got time to shine. I was there. This was in Philly. Fans were all in on Roosh and Leo Rush. Ultimately, Roosh hit the Bull's horns to get to the W. After the match, Roosh celebrated. Leo recovered, and Cage glared from the floor. All right, we're elevating Roosh. We are pushing him. MJF then thanked Kevin Knight for attacking Darby. Knight said, I didn't do this for you. I'm still coming for that world championship. MJF didn't like that and walked off, and Kyle Fletcher approached Knight and admired the TNT championship. Knight, you know what I mean? It's shining, baby. It's shining. Down, Kyle said he liked what he saw. He said, maybe there's a spot in the family for you. Then we got Mark Briscoe. Just a video showing them, and some Briscoe brothers footage was really, really good. We them boys, baby. The Brawling Birds were upset about Hayter's loss, so Windsor said she was ready for the Owen Hart Cup. Windsor said she would prove herself no matter who the wild card is, and Jamie said that no matter who the wild card is, the Brawling Birds will win. I think Jamie Hayter's the wild card. That's facing Alex Windsor. We'll find out Wednesday on Dynamite. Then we got the reason for the video of Mark Briscoe. MJF bragged about, this was MJF's celebration. He bragged about becoming a 3-time world champion before the age of 30. And he was confronted by Mark Briscoe, said he beat MJF recently, which he did, and he demanded a title shot. MJF refused, saying Briscoe wasn't business. He didn't fit what a champion is and looked like. Roosh interrupted and demanded a shot, and MJF was like, okay, you're marketable. You about business. MJF agreed to defend the title against Roosh next week. Jack Perry cut a promo from his bus. Said he was ready for Mark Davis, and we got a Rocky style Monchess, and he would defeat Mark Davis to advance in the Owen Cup. Claudio took on Brody King in their Owen Cup match. They traded power. This is all about big meaty men slapping man meat. Brody King hit the cannonball, big clothesline. Claudio countered with a dive but couldn't land the neutralizer. King ultimately hit another big lariat for the win. King advances in the cup, but he will take on Swerve Strickland. We got Cope and Cage for the celebration, and for the benefit of those with flash photography, the 5-second pose was back, and Cope brought out a bunch of disposable cameras, but they were attacked by the dogs, who ultimately injured Cage's arm and posed with the belts for the benefit of those with flash photography. Swerve said he was ready for Brody King, that he would win the Owen, and that he was the most dangerous man in AEW. And disappointing news, near the end of the show, we got our one and only women's match. It was TJ winning a squash. Just went a minute and 13. This was the only women's action on the show. Love TJ. They deserve better. The women of AEW deserve better than what we got. Speedball said he wanted Kevin Knight, and that Knight crossed the line to take him on next week for the TNT Championship. Our main event was the Owen Cup match between Jack Perry and Mark Davis. This is the third match between these two. Remember, Perry won the first match. Davis won the second match, becoming the new national champion. The championship was not on the line, but ultimately Davis hit his super power driver from the top rope in a fun match to get the W. He advances in the Owen Cup. Then we had an hour of Collision afterwards. This was also in Philly. This was the rare week where Dynamite wasn't as good as Collision. Collision was just better than Dynamite. This week, Wednesday and Saturday's opening was the Don Callis family and Fletcher explaining himself. He said he cut loose the Callis family's dead weight and called Takeshita selfish. Takeshita entered with a conglomeration of all teams and said that he wanted Fletcher next week. Is Takeshita about to conglomerate? I gotta double check this. We're not sure, but Kyle and OC did give them a backpack, which is like the thing of the conglomeration. That's where they keep their titles. I don't know. We gotta see. But Takeshita in a conglomeration would be so much fun. Then we got Ospreay with the Death Riders. Ospreay congratulated Mark Davis on his win and said Davis beat him last time because he was 50%, but now he's at 100, and he's ready. The Death Riders fist bump. They got ready for their match. Oh, Pac did fist bump Ospreay. So it was Ospreay and the Death Riders, Pac and Moxley taking on the Rascalz in a fun match. You knew the Rascalz weren't going to win this match, but they put up a great fight. Ultimately, Ospreay hit the La Mystica into the flying armbar as Pac and Moxley locked in their respective submissions. I believe the Bulldog Choke and the Brutalizer, and the Rascalz tapped in a fun match. Ospreay stood tall with the Death Riders, and Pac kept his distance from Ospreay. Okay, the Callis family was watching backstage. Joe said the mission hasn't changed. He said Hook filmed the movie and he was stepping away from Hollywood. Joe walked off as Hook stepped forward to assume leadership. All right. Joe's going off to film season 3 of Twisted Metal. So the ops are taking a break, which is perfectly fine. All you need to know is, where is Anthony Bowens? Where's Anthony Bowens? Let him just join the ops. I'm perfectly fine with that. We got a video hyping Shida and Statlander for their match tonight. Statlander challenged her to a Philly street fight and accepted, and she was tired of Shida and her patience has run out. We were backstage with TJ. They are about to get interviewed by Lexi. We find Divine Domain had absolutely bull rushed them, so domination abound. Divine Domain will be taking on TJ in an eliminator match on the other Collision. Andrade took on Ace Austin. Look, love AEW. I love Ace. I love Andrade. Being there in the arena, this match did not need to happen because we knew Andrade was going to win. It was fine. Andrade posted his IWGP Global Championship, and the main event was obviously the lights out street fight. But here's the thing. Like, it went into an overrun. It didn't need to go into an overrun. They should have got as much time as possible with the Andrade Ace Austin match. Did not need to happen. Shida instead put on a great match, ladies and gentlemen. Like, no questions about it. But I'm just like, it just didn't need to go into an overrun. Ultimately, Stat won after getting some help from Harley Cameron with the kendo stick and the light tubes. Then we had the actual Collision on Saturday. Another Double or Nothing Fallout show. This show gets officially opened up with Ciampa, who was on commentary, and we got the conglomeration who were putting the trio titles on the line against the Don Callis family. They gifted Takeshita a backpack, so maybe he is, maybe he isn't in the conglomeration. So the trio's titles were on the line, and the people taking them on were the Don Callis family members. I believe it was Lance Archer and Roppongi Vice. So because you gave us this grouping of members, I figured they weren't going to win. Of course, they didn't win. The conglomeration retained the championship. Ciampa mocked the Don Callis family. Then we had Divine Domain taking on TJ. This was a 5-minute eliminator match, and TJ won. Not only did they win, they were actually the dominant team in this match. They showed heart, they showed focus, they used their speed, and they took it straight to Lena Cross and Megan Bain. Divine Domain tried overpowering them in the beginning, but Anna fought out, tagged in Ty. They hit their double DDT on Cross, and Anna locked in the Queen Slayer as time expired. TJ retreated up the ramp, and Divine Domain were not happy. Then we got Ciampa, who was in the ring, and he said that one, Jericho wasn't built in, and he has 1,004 reasons that he hates Chris Jericho, revealing the list. And he'll see you when I see you. That was great. It was really, really fun. That's a deep cut for those of you that know pro wrestling. Then we got a standout match, ladies and gentlemen. Hazuki was making her AEW debut, and she is in the Owen Hart Cup. She took on Maya World. Persephone was on commentary. This was a fun match. Might be my favorite match of the show. And Maya World looked really good here, but you knew Hazuki was always going to win. She ended up winning with the lung blower, followed by the top rope senton. Hazuki and Persephone went face to face. I don't know who's going to win this match. I also might be in love with Hazuki. Lee Moriarty had a quick match taking on Tim Bowsby, made that man tap immediately. This led into the Death Riders, Pac and Mox, taking on the infantry of Shane Taylor Promotions, with the Death Riders winning there. Shane Taylor Promotions were fun. Christian XO got into it with Marina Shafir, who just scared her off the apron. Marina joined the celebration on the ramp as STP retreated, and Mox stared them down. The Triangle of Madness bragged about doubling the Sky Blue, confronted Tekla about the Owen Hart Cup, and they argued before laughing and hugging, and Tekla said nothing could break them. The conglomeration celebrated retaining the trio's titles, and Kyle said they had Takeshita's back. Leo Rush appeared under her umbrella and said, Takeshita said, don't move if he can't see you. Leo walked off saying, it's fine. It's fine. The dogs took on the Guns. Other dogs mocked the crowd and posed with the disposable cameras in a solid match. Ultimately, the dogs won after cheating with the Shillelagh. Clark Counter Spirit, Austin Gunn for the win. They had attempted another technical juice, and Ace Austin ran them off. I really much enjoyed that. Dogs versus the Guns. Also, when is Jay White coming back? Jeez. Jake Doyle and Brian Cage won a quick squash, taking on Jimmy Wild and Tommy Mara, seeing as how Mark Davis is now on the singles journey with the national championship. Jake Doyle, Brian Cage. Listen, Jake Doyle, Brian Cage, Lance Archer, make them the trios team for the Don Callis family. I am all here for it. Our main event was Takeshita putting the international championship on the line against Dan Garcia. Mox and then Marina Shafir was on commentary. This was a fun match. Ultimately, Takeshita retained, hitting the Raging Fire for the win. After the match, well, it was faction warfare. The Don Callis family attacked Takeshita. Then Mox tried to help, but then Shane Taylor Promotions attacked him, and the Death Riders. The Speedball conglomeration hit the ring to even the odds. Takeshita, Speedball, the conglomeration, and the Death Riders all stood united as the show went off the air. Okay, what is this leading to? I like that we've put Shane Taylor Promotions in here. I've always liked them as a group. Over on Impact, the show gets a fist. Fabian Eichner makes his move. We opened up with the Champions Challenge setup. Kazarian opened the show, and this led to the 10-man tag match. So it was the champions, Mike Santana, the world champion, Ali, the international champion, Cedric, the X Division champion, and Brian Myers and Barrett Bronson, the tag team champions, taking on Kaz, Eric Young, Leon Slater, Casey Navarro, and Elijah. And the champion challenges, if the challengers win, they get title shots. Crazy fun match. Just went about the whole first quarter of the show, and ultimately the faces won. Casey celebrated earning his title shot, and Slater showed sportsmanship with KC. We'll see what goes on. Ali looked stunned. Ariana Grace complained about Santino giving Lei Ying Lee a title shot, because Lei Ying Lee is now the new champion. And Ariana Grace lost. Stacks said Santino made a terrible decision, and Stacks vowed to send Santino to a retirement home. The Righteous cut a promo in the field. They hyped the upcoming Wicked Garden match, and commentary questioned what that stipulation meant. Harley Hudson took on Tessa Blanchard in a solid match. Tessa hit the Magnum for 2 before Harley countered with a neckbreaker. Tessa finally got the buzzsaw to get the W. All right, we'll see where this leads to Tessa heading into whatever feud she's got going on next. Then we got the injury report on updates on Macklin, Jada Stone, Moose, Santino, and Stacks. Santino took on Stacks. Ariana Grace interfered, allowing Stacks to roll up Santino. After the match, they mocked Santino, and Grace tried to slap him, but Santino blocked it. Stacks attacked Santino to Indy Hartwell, made the save, and Daria Ray stopped the impromptu tag match and booked it for next week. AJ Francis, not AJ Styles, not AJ Lee, AJ Francis complained about missing paperwork, and staff promised it would be ready soon, and he walked off frustrated. Fabi Eichner took on Eddie Edwards of the System. Eichner dominated early with some power offense and a crossbody. Eddie used Alicia's distraction to take control, and Eichner hit a top rope suplex for 2. The System then arrived, but ultimately Eichner locked in his submission, but the System attacked and giving him the win by DQ. They beat him down, and Eddie gloated over him. Then we had the Women's Champion Challenge match. It was Lei Ying Lee, the Knockouts champion, M and H by Elegance, the Knockouts champions, and I think that was it. Yeah, taking on Elena Black, Zaya Brookside, and Mara Sharday. Zaya tagged out immediately, leaving Black to face Lee. Sade and Lee exchanged respectively offense, and it was just wild. Mr. Elegance ended up getting interfered, but Zaya ultimately pinned Lee after the trip. Zaya Brookside. So they also get their championship match. This is good because it's leading to Zaya versus Lei Ying Lee. Zaya celebrating earning her shots. Elegance argued at ringside. That's how we ended the show over on SmackDown. This was the Clash in Italy Go Home show. This show gets a fist. Wasn't as bad as previous SmackDowns. We got our thing with Jade and Charlotte and Alexa and Rhea. That Charlotte and Bliss confronted Jade and backed her up at ringside. And we got Jade versus Alexa, which that was the first match of the evening. Obviously, Jade won, hit the pump kick and the Jaded for the W. After the match, Jade hit Bliss with the Jaded up to the chair. Charlotte and Rhea ran out to make the save, but it was too late, and Jade escaped. Jade was happy. Charlotte and Rhea were not happy. Cody said, Sammy, you stood by while Gunther attacked me. Sammy said he tried to help, but realized Cody needed to learn a lesson. Cody said Sammy wasn't the last real good guy he claimed to be. Cody said after Gunther, he might teach Sammy a lesson too. All right, let's see what's going on. I like where we're going in this direction with Sami Zayn. Nick Aldis, so Danhausen's lab equipment was stuck in customs, so Danhausen began improvising a new lab behind him. Whatever. The Miz took on Axiom. Axiom got the W with the Spanish Fly and the Golden Ratio. Miz blamed Danhausen for the loss and was just not happy. Danhausen watched from afar. Truth said he wasn't clear, but introduced Keys as Priest's partner. Priest said he didn't trust Keys due to his solo history. Truth convinced him that let's team up anyway. What are you even really talking about? We were backstage with Charlotte and Rhea and Alexa. Charlotte attacked on Bliss, who's with the medical staff, and Rhea said she'd take care of Jade. Charlotte said if Ripley didn't, then she would. And both stared down each other, so we're getting this match again at some point. Damian and Royce took on Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga of the MFT. Tala hit the T-bomb chokeslam on Priest to get the W. Priest glared at Keys, who was not happy because Keys protected Truth, who was blindsided by Tama Tonga. Keys tried to explain himself. Solo smirked from the ramp. Miz complained about the flickering lights and everything going on with Danhausen, and Danhausen sprayed Miz with the fire extinguisher, more orders not to touch the sheet covered body, whatever. Chelsea Green said Tiffany copied her outfit, and Tiffany said she planned it first. Tiffany said she wasn't teaming with the Green, and Green looked hurt. All right, whatever. Sami Zayn took on Matt Cardona. Sami Zayn won with the Exploder, followed by the Hoover kick, because Matt Cardona, like Rusev, always loses. That is your job, sir. You should have stayed in TNA. You should have went to AEW, because you would not be getting jobbed out like this. Sammy glared into the camera. Cardona rolled out, hurting his jaw. And then we got everything with Trick, Yachty, Mello, Ricky. Trick hyped himself up as the brand's top star, and Yachty declared Trick for the King of the Ring. Mello said Trick wasn't King of the Ring material, and Saints interrupted, said he beat Mello tonight. They ended up having their match. Hayes hit the Dirty Diana. Saints hit the Twisting DDT. Then hit a running dive. Saints threw him into the steps. Both were counted out, and they kept fighting after the match. And Trick watched for backstage. Hayes countered with the first 48. Chelsea Green took on Anaya Jax. Green used her speed early before Jax overpowered her. Green hit the zigzag, for two, and Lash interrupted to stop them prettier. Tiffany distracted Jax with her music, then hit Jax with the belt from behind, allowing Chelsea to get the pinfall. Lash was not happy. Nia was not happy. Paige said they were on a roll, talking about her and Brie Bella. JC declared for the Queen of the Ring, and also said Fatal Influence would be coming for those championships and in our main event segment. Gunther said Cody was entitled and a product of nepotism. Gunther said Cody was a mark for himself, and Cody said that Gunther wanted everything Cody had, right? Cody said the WWE title was addictive, and Gunther was just as sick as he is. Cody said Gunther wasn't as good as he thought he was. Gunther promised to choke out Cody and take the title before the show ended. Our matches of the week from Collision: the Death Riders versus the Rascalz. Fun match. Kris, Statlander, Shida, and that lights out Philly street fight. Don't think it was earned to have a lights out match, but I still enjoyed it. From Collision, Konosuke, Takeshita, and Garcia for the International Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, the match, one of the matches of the year already, from AAA Noche de los Grandes, El Grande Americano versus original El Grande Americano, and a mask versus mask match. Go and watch it. It is on YouTube. And from Stardom, God's Eye versus Hate for the Art of Stardom Championship. This was a 6-woman tag for those of you that don't know. But our stars of the week: El Grande Americano, Rey Fenix, and Ruca. Should I give it to anybody else? No, that was it. So yeah, Grande, Fenix, and Ruca. But as I show, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Check out the socials: Charismatic Creation on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic _Creation 52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.